Hey, Tim Young, BS MPA, 15 years at TI. Mind control slave for 15 years. Neurolinguistic programming every 15 to 20 seconds since I lived in the graduate dorms at the University of Oregon. Gang stalking, then NSA acknowledgement of surveillance, then home break-ins, break-in to my computer, and then the synthetic telepathy neurolinguistic torture program started and hasn't stopped. Kevin Christian and Georgia targeted individual outside of Atlanta has been attacked by these systems for 5 years. Many TIs where this equipment gets abused, unfortunately, are women, reportedly. And there can be contrived earthquakes, fires, fucking dropping a green comet out of the sky, 2 suns. You could have a talking chicken, goat, and a mule, and still those with access to this technology will not stop with the neurolinguistic programming or advanced AI. Combinations of both. Nobody in electric core nor single person entity group AI assist anything is proper use of the term God. No TI is. I'm definitely not. These are all synthetic telepathy, international agenda, crimes, remote neural monitoring, weaponizing the homes, minds of Americans. And I'm getting played for a fool. Most days just happy for a few moments of quiet in my head. No Constitution, no Bill of Rights. And then all of that in shelved plans already thought through. Well, what are they gonna do next? So life is very difficult. Multiple platforms have been suggested for TI. Oh yeah, so like the earth could fucking crumble, and these they're not idiots, they only fake stupidity. These mind control addicts and synthetic telepathy intellectual perverts and mind control cult gangs, electric core, community-based agents, Command Central, COINTELPRO. The earth could like fucking fall apart literally, and they'll still be on those headgears passed out on those machines from openbci.com torturing Americans. They really enjoy their work. It gives them a lot of pleasure, among other criteria. So organized assisted suicide, it's no Futurama suicide booth, but again, thanks to the inventor in China who invented dynamite. And like, I want to live like 30 years, but the way I'm planning on going out, trying to avoid getting misled at moments of death, is dynamiting my head in a state where I may not be able to buy a gun because I got made a TI, those rights stripped 15 years ago. I'll still be able to buy dynamite. People working against me on this perp may have even tried to like introduce legislation to make it so if you hear voices you can't get dynamite. They wanted to make sure perpetrating in the EMF frequency and all the ill that they use that from to screw up 3D reality and other fuller definitions of evil was stripped and modified from the Plato Stanford definition of evil. Some of the guys and I back from 2013 are still pretty pissed off that Turntable FM got shut down, and on and on and on of all these systems working against the TI. while I've been at TI, they made it so if you go into a psych ward on SSI or something, they'll like cut your SSI for that month, and other techniques to overall just squeeze blood out of a turnip, create artificial scarcity, and torture. Some people that help me may end up getting punished in Intel systems, and then they're glorifying out of 5,000 of the InfraGard Electric Corps community-based agents that have committed treason against me, their countrymen, because they got bad info. I was not supposed to be put in the TI system anyways. They're trying to, and oh no, it's only this little thing. Blame it on one guy on one headset to mislead about how much 5,000 have tried to suicide me, more or less. Thinking they're doing the right thing, that they're serving their country. Motherfuckers, I invented the newspaper comment section. I did. I spent a lot of time on a project trying to make $6 billion in endowments so my citizens could go to college. Of those that get TI'd, I was in the political activism route. Not baby shooting and international drug cartels or human trafficking. I'll try not to be too pissy about it, repeating patterns of history. I was, and I'm hoping to pass on information as I can if my information sources get attacked on non-reincarnation instructions at and after moments of death. Synthetic telepathy ruins my life every single day. Neurolinguistic programming every day. EMF perpetrators in and out of my domiciles. That's been on an uptick for the last 4 years. Psych wards, perped, street theater. Project Camelot and Carrie Cassidy, she did an interview and talked about, she goes to a conference she still does in the UK, and her and maybe a bunch of pretty great old women and young people and men, when they go and meet for like a Project Camelot conference at a nice old maybe bed and breakfast place that they like to go to, they all know that they're targeted individuals. It's not a good life. It's the public health issues, the torture. I don't even like interacting with normal communities anymore because of the neurolinguistic programming, and that's people appearing as not, maybe appearing as an Oregonian, but they're not really from the neighborhood. They're like on in other locations as detailed by some other more seasoned TIs. It's a difficult time in America. It's a difficult time for me. Neurolinguistic programming every day. "15 years ago, somebody called out a hit on me, and my family's been hurt too. And I don't have constitutional rights or a Bill of Rights. And of 5,000 that is sanctioned by the federal government under the Department of Homeland Security that have come out to try and suicide me, they're sitting around every once in a while on this broadcast, same shit that's going on with Kevin Christian, and they're being like, no, it's this one guy. It's this one EMF monitor. Like, he won't stop trying to steal your identity to cover up that we've enslaved 1.5 million Americans and get away with it. And all this other stuff that, and blanket the community with psyops and deny life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness on me and 1.5 other million Americans 24 hours a day. The moon could crash into the fucking earth, and I swear to you, these addicts on these mind control headset gears, like in Howard Circle and Kevin Christian's example in Georgia, would still be talking. I feel like I should go live in a treehouse someplace, smoke a lot of weed, and maybe write poetry nobody sees, or think about the wonder of growing fir trees over 50 years. Nice haircut, right? I just stopped being able to afford haircuts. I got myself a Kindle Fire 8 here for like $80, and it's got a good camera and all kinds of stuff. It's nice and thin. I tried out another one in equipment that may or may not have been sort of anticipated if I would buy or not buy in the obsessive secret surveillance economy. And I try not to interact with the communities, but these people that are ruining the human condition, like I've heard some of the chitter chatter, they're like, oh, I'm just here for the probability. Like, it's an addiction in a lot of ways for folks, and they out of protocol, out of NLP, out of orders they get from central command, neurolinguistic programming has been incessant. So I, as the TI, get tortured and then driven to suicide, and then the target audience has been like all of the state of Oregon by appearance at times, and then I think I talk about this, and then national stuff, and then international is too complicated, but there's internationally targeted individuals like myself that are being systematically abused and exploited every single day under the cover of things like, oh no, he's just crazy. No, it drives us crazy. It's ill. It makes us say stupid shit that we normally wouldn't. Think about stuff we normally wouldn't think about. Menticide, ill thoughts injected from synthetic telepathy. In that connotation, it makes us ill, in that connotation of crazy. But it's deliberate. It's done to us. Like 5,000 have come at me. Federal overreach of powers. Some of the mean mugging I've seen would make you want to put your fist through a wall, and that's what it's intended to do. I'm not, nor ever was I, in a gang, but they have extracted from my consciousness at speed of thought for at least 15 years and misled InfraGard, Fusion Center, all kinds of folks. Like those people, like a couple years ago, people showing up as anybody that they wanted to, and EMF gangs were, and it was a little uncomfortable for me, like ready to like, they had appreciated my work instead of it being stolen or otherwise given to other people. Anyways, instead, these synthetic telepathy cults, like at speed of thought, have tried to steal my identity in some kind of failed transfer of, no, they're really killing people from the EMF. And when John Lear says, I'm sorry, America, like a plane really didn't crash into the Twin Towers in September 11th, it's because he knows that it was a missile from a false flag domestic terror event that was done purposefully, and then with blue beam technology only made to appear as a plane wrapped around the missile. And that's, like a couple of weeks ago, I saw some guy show up in a blue beam truck that sort of semi didn't look like me and was the wrong kind of truck. That wrapped around a missile, same technology. That was down the road in Hillsborough like the other day. The whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help you yourself, and a good education and a nice vocabulary, and people that don't use neurolinguistic programming. That's what I still want in cessation of combat. Instead, I'm surrounded by hostility from the EMF, designed homelessness again, which, worse things have happened. And always with the incessant NLP trying, and then they're like, I mean, don't avoid a false positive in the interjection. This shit's like out of a psychological operations manual and other protocol from military professionals. Don't let your perps pawn their behavior off onto the phenomena of human experience where people are born narcissists. Like, that's a little too easy. I want my fucking Constitution, my Bill of Rights, not a fucking psychological manual in which your own fucking problem. So that and other things. And I got a message from Heavy T. I was able to help him out. I'm a little bit farther along the lines in avoiding getting misled. I've already been misled in similar ways to Heavy T from Stay Strong, Target Individuals on YouTube. He's just lost his job. That was totally designed. And I have a lot of sympathy and empathy for him. Keep up with the old Kevin Christian. May do a video with him. I got like one slight message from Dr. Horton some time ago. She's really got a lot of traffic, people trying to get a hold of her. She's biting off more than she can chew. I don't envy her and would like to show what I can do to support her. Mola D's Everyday Concerned Citizen blog's great. I didn't get Todd Giffen. I'm not in prison, but I got declared incompetent to lose my rights by this country 15 years ago, and it's not the first or the last country to do this. Trying to mitigate my own torture and damage on my family. And a nuclear bomb could go off in New York, and this motherfucker who's throwing a monitor consciousness out on me, a mind control addict, obsessive compulsive, career criminal, human trafficker, living in his own feces, like a nuclear bomb could go off in New York and these mind control addicts would still be talking, laying in their own shit in other locations. The Electric Core, community-based agents, Command Central. And I lose incarnating at all on this international synthetic telepathy agenda. Like, oh yeah, oh, he thinks he's a smart one. Well, we'll just use that against him. And speed of thought tend to be real stupid. And then menticide has been a way to describe it, destroying consciousness purposefully. I've seen some of this stuff about Kevin. Like, people's got to be careful about the verb use. Don't say going to hell. No, we are in hell now as TI, and then the EMF just uses that to exploit 3D around the TI. Some of these perps don't think there's life after death. I'm convinced there probably is, and am in the school of thought with a lot of the elder boomers on this subject of get the fuck out of the solar system, like John Lear, and want no more NLP, don't want to get tricked into race issues that I wasn't even a part of. Fucking white nationalism, getting trauma-based mind control, like fucking abused more as human capital. I don't want to get ping-ponged around the fucking West like I have been. I don't want to be set up for crimes I don't commit. I don't want playbook tactics on deep state Zoog streak. I want to live out my life as Jeffrey Edward Taylor, BSMPA. I'm happy about little things like, good music, a nice photo, getting basic nutrition, maybe a little exercise, reading up and communicating with other TI, not getting killed or made more of a useful idiot than I already have been by the international synthetic telepathy agenda. There could be like the entire continent of Africa could be destroyed in a fusion weaponry event, and these mind control addicts would still be throwing a monitor consciousness out here and at all the other TI, laying in their own shit in other locations. Russia could send Satan 2 with like 10 or 12 warheads screaming over the US. These motherfuckers would still be talking.